President Biden is preparing for his first virtual meeting with China's President Xi Jinping. I don't know if it's like in the metaverse, but I guess we are headed that way. Among the issues expected to be on the agenda, trade, technology, and the U.S. position on Taiwan. Eunice Yoon, I believe the physical Eunice Yoon joins us now with, yes, it is, joins us now with more. Hey, Eunice.
Hey, Joe. Yeah, so there are a couple of different key points that I think investors are going to be wanting to look at that are going to come out of this virtual meeting. And the first and most important is that Taiwan is going to be a major priority. For the Chinese have been messaging this with several different editorials, saying that Taiwan is the ultimate red line for China, and that President Xi is going to warn President Biden to, quote, step back from any perceived support for an independent Taiwan, which China sees as a breakaway province, and that the U.S. upholding the one China policy would turn up the brightness on ties. Now, a senior administration official had also said that President Biden would reiterate the U.S.'s longstanding one China policy. So that could potentially be good news. Nothing likely to be resolved. But this issue of Taiwan, as you guys well know, has been a non-financial tail risk for investors. So the fact that the two sides are coming together to have this conversation over this important issue could actually help to ease tensions. Now, another point that has come out of this meeting is that the economic issues are likely to take a back seat. The senior administration official had said that supply chain issues as well as tariffs are not on the U.S. agenda, even though, of course, trade as well as industrial policy of China is going to come up as issues. The Chinese state media have also referenced tariffs, saying that tariffs are more of a U.S. business problem and that Biden is the one who's under the pressure because these tariffs are going to put even more a strain onto a lot of U.S. companies, stoking inflation, perhaps. And so, in other words, the Chinese don't, or at least openly, are saying that this isn't so much of a major priority. The Chinese have also been downplaying the deliverables out of this, as have the Americans. Now, whether or not you see this as a positive or negative, I think really depends on whether or not you're a half glass full person or a half glass empty person. So if you're a half glass full person, you could say, well, that's great because this means that economic policy isn't going to be super disruptive. We're not going to see any major changes. But if you're a glass half empty kind of person, it also means that likely not going to see a whole lot of relief on certain issues like tariffs or sanctions. Guys?
Yeah, a lot on this latest Glasgow Sitch, too. Journal has an interesting piece about, I don't know, just, it's a Wall Street Journal, but implying that the United States kind of got played by China, that, they're going to continue. They made a few concessions they may or may not live up to. They're going to continue building out coal plants left and right, while we agree to unilaterally almost cut our emissions in half, and that China doesn't mind if the U.S. punishes itself with higher energy costs, because that just plays into its hand as well. And China can get other concessions on all those other issues you're talking about by pretending to play along with this other stuff, Eunice. I'm glad I don't have to figure this stuff out, I'll tell you that much.
Well, I mean, we definitely see the Chinese trying to shift the conversation away from some of these bilateral issues that are important to the U.S. and that other countries actually have with China, such as human rights, for example. So anything that has to do with Uyghurs or, Taiwan, Hong Kong, things that the Chinese believe is a domestic affair. Yeah. But they definitely have been trying to steer the conversation to climate change and pushing back, even though the Americans say that they do not want these two issues to be linked.
Right.